All right, Shalom, Yasharala, Shalom, giving all praises, honor, glory to our power, Yahweh Shemel Shah, Bashim Chakodash, double honor to the beloved apostle, the elder great millstone, peace, blessed, the hopeful elect. I really want to grab a few articles real quick. Haven't even read them. I just, like I said, I was going to go through some more, see what we can dig up, try to find. All right, so look what we have here. It says Tony Blair Institute calls for a digital ID for all British citizens. Calls it the great enabler, right? Here we go with the digital stuff again. Is that technocracy world, that digital world. They're pushing this thing very heavy. It went from, if you notice now, just from, last week or maybe even a few days ago, it went from a mass amount of Momo articles. Now all of a sudden there's a bombardment of this digital age articles, like everything digital this, digital that, digital, talking about everything digital, talking about everything Momo to everything digital. But these are all their plans and all their agendas, and they're pushing them both. Well, not both, because there's more than that. Those two, but they're pushing them very heavily. All right, and if you're really paying attention, notice that. All right, but anyways, it says, Tony Blair Institute is pushing for a dystopian sea change in the UK's public service landscape. A new report from the Institute champions the introduction of a comprehensive digital ID system as the linchpin, all under the guise of creating streamlined, efficient, and personalized access to public services. All right, the tangle as it stands. UK citizens grapple with a network of several different access points for government services. However, doing it this way limits the amount of centralized control the government has over citizens. The Blair Institute's report proposes that digital IDs can radically overhaul this convoluted ecosystem, empowering citizens to take the reins of their data. It's unclear how giving up more data is empowering. All right, and if you can really see, that leads up to that microchip. Because where else are you going to get what so-called, right? What they say is always so convenient to you. All right, where you're going to get that so-called most help from, by going digital in that microchip system. All right, so be not deceived. All right. It says sector spotlight. The report highlights the multifaceted potential of digital IDs across sectors like education, healthcare, immigration, and welfare. For instance, in a tie-in with big tech in education, digital IDs can help in consolidating insights from data collected through apps like Google's Classroom and enable easy sharing of this information with parents. Healthcare. By leveraging digital IDs and tying it to healthcare, the plan is that doctors could craft bespoke treatments for patients, honing in on personalized care. However, it will further centralize their patients' private medical data. All right, so you pretty much, that actually might have been it, but you get the gist of it, man. They just want to push you to the digital world, man. They're gonna keep attacking you at all areas, all right, when it comes to this digital, digital everything, digital currency, digital assets, digital this, digital that, virtual reality world, all right. Just so much digital tech knowledge, all this technocracy, okay? They're gonna continue pushing it. So let's see if I can find the other ones that I saw. I actually saw that, but I'm not gonna read to it. That's not it. Let's see. Here we go. Here's the other one. Obama proposes digital fingerprints on content to combat misinformation. You see, different areas, like different type topics, but it's all centered in that same thing, the digital world. All right. And here you go. Obama talking about proposes digital fingerprints on content to combat misinformation. And we know it's been said 1,000 times by now, all right, that it is only matter of fact, let's grab this because we still have, actually we don't have it here. Let's do this real quick. I thought I still have the page up. What just came to mind, bear with me a second here. All right, Isaiah 13:2. On that in general, right? It says, lift ye up a banner upon the high mountain, exalt the voice unto them, shake the hand, that it may go into the gates of the nobles. And who are these nobles? That stems back to these international banking families, the ones who rule and control over all things in this earth right now, in these latter days, right, for this last captivity for the Israelites. It says, I had commanded my sanctified ones, I have also called my mighty ones for my anger, even them that rejoice in my highness. All right. Um, I guess we read that as well. It says, the noise of a multitude in the mountains, like as of a great people, of a tumultuous noise of the kingdoms of nations gathered together. Yahweh of hosts mustereth the host of the battle. They come from far country, from the end of heaven, even Yahweh, and the weapons of his indignation to destroy the whole land. All right, we want destruction for America. Okay, all right. How ye, for this day of the Lord is at hand. It shall come as a destruction from the Almighty. And getting back on point, which really came over here for verse 2. All right, shaking the hand, they may go to the gates of the nobles. Okay, so basically get them back on point, to close up my thought. You hear them talking about disinformation, misinformation, medical misinformation, freedom of speech, free thinkers, and whatever else they can think of and conjure up in their little wicked minds, all right? It's all to combat the truth. The Lord is putting the truth out there through his mouthpieces, which are the prophets. The Lord has raised the prophets in Babylon, Jeremiah 29:15, all right? And they are doing all these things because they want to try to shut up the prophets, but they have no control over that. The Lord will shut the prophets up himself, and that is what Amos 8 and 11 and 12 come in. Amos chapter 8, verse 11 and 12 comes in. Okay, but these devils want to do their best to combat, and for you idiots that went out to vote, this guy is not your friend. All right, you so-called Negroes or anyone else, okay? It says, stay informed on privacy and free speech rights. It says, if you're tired of censorship and surveillance, subscribe to Reclaim the Net. Okay, that was nothing. It says, former President Barack Obama has floated the idea of implementing digital fingerprints. Now, do you really think that this guy right here really thought that up? Or is he just being a puppet? Just like he was when he was president, because the president is what? A puppet who answers to who? The elite banking families, those wicked devils. All right. So he's just another face, because you're never going to see one of the Rothschilds pop up and say, hey, we had this idea, Come on, man. Stop it. Former President Barack Obama is basically do read his script, all right? It says Barack Obama has floated the idea of implementing digital fingerprints to help the public differentiate between genuine and deceptive content online. It's the same idea that tech giants such as Microsoft and Adobe are lobbying for. In fact, Microsoft's president believes it should be illegal to remove such digital fingerprints. And actually, we've been talking about all this lately. Okay? They just struck down my main page. I actually have 3 pages that just up and just gone. 3 pages, man. But, that's why I created a whole backup channel, right? Which is Code of Many Colors, okay? And that's my new channel now. My new main page is now Code of Many Colors, okay? And my backup page is at Dew of Thy Youth, all right? Because I have 3 pages that have been stricken out. Well, my main page, you call it Third Strike. And one page has some very shady stuff going on with it, so I don't want to touch it. I don't want to pick up a virus or anything like that. And then another page just up and disappeared. I don't know where that page is. I can't even find it. So, it's okay. We continue on. We move forward through the spirit and power. Yahweh Shema Shah. All right. It says, speaking candidly on the Axe Files podcast, hosted by David Axelrod and featured on CNN Audio, Obama delved into what he seems is the urgency of employing tech solutions to combat deepfakes and false information. Okay, it says Obama, no stranger to misinformation, gave insight into his experience as the most documented individual due to his status as the first, in his words, digital Whoa. Obama, no stranger to misinformation, gave insight into his experience as the most documented individual due to his status as the first, in his words, digital president. All right, they are harping on this digital stuff here. All right, it says, as I've told people, because I was the first digital president when I left office, which I don't remember him saying that, but I'm also not into television, so I like to watch National Geographic and whatever. Might catch a movie here and there every once in a blue moon, but yeah, I'm pretty much not into television, so I don't always catch speeches and inaugurations and all those kind of things like that. I try to catch things here and there, but I'm just I don't. Anyways, it says as I've told people, because I was the first digital president when I left office, I was probably the most recorded, filmed, photographed human in history. Why? Because you had that nigger thing going, that black thing going, right? You call all the black people, right? The idiots, okay? Because you are not them. It says, which is kind of a weird thing, but it is how you won the election. The black people, right? And then you reached out also to the so-called Mexicans, as well as the Latinos or whoever, right? Ephraimites, Puerto Ricans, okay? It says, which is a kind of weird thing, Obama said, but just the odds are that I was. As a consequence, there's a lot of raw material there. Look at deepfakes. Obama was critical of deepfakes, particularly those made about himself. Initially, these digitally manipulated images, audios, or videos portrayed Obama in lighthearted antics, but he voiced concerns regarding how such technology could amplify misinformation, especially in the electoral realm. Get out of here, man. If any kind of funny, money, shady business is going on, it's coming from you elites, man. Well, he's not one of the elites, but you know what I mean. It's coming from the elites, okay? They call for discernment. We need to discern you people. What the hell? Obama underscored the imperative for people to become more discriminating consumers of news and information, and for the tech world to innovate with watermarks or digital fingerprints so we know what is true and what is not true. The echo chamber says the former president spotlighted the tendency of individuals to cherry pick news sources based on pre-existing convictions, making them susceptible to swallowing content hook, line, and sinker. He gave a nod to what he called you see it, this is what got me out. 1, 2, 3 strikes, I'm out of the ball game now. Misinformation as a way to prove his point. Probably not the best example. All right, electoral tactics. Obama didn't mince words about misinformation being weaponized to deter voter participation by casting the electoral process as rigged, because it was just that. It was rigged. Regardless of what you people think or say or believe, your votes do not matter. Your votes do not count. It is simply a way for the system itself to keep track of your very thoughts, as in what would you have chosen if you had a choice, okay? It's simply them gaining data on you. And if they get you to take the microchip, they're no longer going to need your input, all right? They're no longer going to need your data, because they're going to know what you're thinking anyways. They're going to know what you're going to choose, and there's going to be no longer a choice, all right? You're going to follow them regardless, because you've taken their microchip, all right? It says that can oftentimes advantage the powerful, he noted, flagging the risk of escalating public cynicism. Okay, and they're just trying to basically put it off as we pretty much just pretty much went through that. The flip side says critics won't shy away from pointing out Obama's own entanglement with misinformation controversies, including his support for alleged Trump-Russia ties allegations, and that many statements pharmaceutical companies were touting about turned out to not always be true. So you say. But here you have just more digital stuff. I mean, it could be the dumbest thing, and they're gonna push it towards digital, because that's what they're pushing forward. Digitization. In a whole. All right. I think there was something else. Okay. Misinformation is a word we use to shut you up. Brownstone Institute. All right. It says the policing of information is the stuff of Nazism, Stalinism, Maoism, and similar anti-liberal regimes to repress criticism of their dicta and diktats. Anti-liberals label criticism misinformation or disinformation. Those labels are instruments to crush dissent. This paper offers an understanding of knowledge as involving the three chief facets: information, interpretation, and judgment. Usually, what people argue fervently over is not information, but interpretation and judgment. And all three of these things, information, interpretation, and judgment, the elites want to control. All right, it's called controlling the narrative. They want everything to be filtered through them, and they want to tell you exactly what to think and believe. All right, and repeat. It says what is being labeled and attacked as misinformation is not a matter of true or false information, but of true or false knowledge. Ooh, that's a very deep thing to say. And we know true knowledge is coming from the scriptures. All right, exposing these devils. I believe we read it, or maybe we did or didn't. But what I'm referring to is Isaiah 47. All right, uncover the locks may bear the leg, but exposing these devils. All right, telling what the truth is, while they're continually feeding the people garbage and putting them to sleep and keeping them asleep and docile. All right, because people will so quickly believe the lie, but they will not believe the prophets of the Lord. Okay. It says, what is being labeled and attacked as misinformation is not a matter of true or false information, but of true or false knowledge, meaning that disagreement more commonly arises over interpretations and judgments as to which interpretations to take stock in or believe. We make judgments, good and bad, wise and foolish, about interpretations, true and false. Basically, like I just said, them controlling the narrative. All right, it's all about what they say, what they deem is right or wrong or necessary, or so on and so forth. On that understanding, the paper explains that the projects and policies now afoot styled anti-misinformation and anti-disinformation are dishonest, as it should be obvious to all that those projects and policies would, if advanced honestly, be called something like anti-falsehood campaigns. But to prosecute an anti-falsehood campaign would make obvious the true nature of what is afoot in Orwellian boot to stop all wrong thinking. It's a bunch of stuff here. Let's see what else we have. This is from Guri's excellent piece. Disinformation is the word I use when I want you to shut up. That's so true. All right, especially when it comes to this truth. All right, and the men teaching and doing lessons online. All right, they will quickly flag you or for a warning or strike you on your channel, and to the point that you get struck out. Okay. Um, it says this information is the word I use when I want you to shut up. The piece prompted the present essay, the title of which is a variation on his anti-misinformation projects now afoot or an effort are about shutting up opponents. See, they're looking at it from one aspect, but what they're not, what they want to continue hiding is, the truth. We know when it comes to the prophets of the Lord, all right, this truth coming out. That's what the real battle is against these devils, all right. This truth, all right, and they are the ones who are spreading falsehoods or whatever, okay, and keeping the people sleep, blind, deaf, dumb, and docile, okay. Blind, deaf, dumb, docile, BDDD, B3D, all right, blind, deaf, dumb, and docile, okay, and the people are all asleep, okay. That's so much here. It's not really. I guess you can read into this yourself. Just article titles that caught my attention. So I'm not gonna say I expected much from them, but it is one thing to point out. Digital. All right, everything's digital. They went for all these Momo articles, a massive amount of Momo articles in a matter of days, for like a week or whatever, and then all of a sudden now you have a mass amount of digital talk, in articles. Okay, so it's all these people just slowly work towards their plans, from all angles. Esau covers his tracks. All right, they're vagabonds. Okay, and vagabonds know one thing: they know how to run and hide and cover their asses. Okay, and so they're gonna keep doing just that. They're gonna keep playing Edomite hopscotch. Okay, how about that one? All right, that's what they're doing, playing Edomite hopscotch. Okay, they're going here, from there, but everything that they hint on is all pushing toward their global world agenda, which is the ultimate goal of the mandatory implementation of the the digital RFID microchip, right, which stands for radio frequency identification. But like I said, I thought it was a little more there. You know, those articles weren't very heavy hitting, but it's just that digital aspect that really caught my attention. So you know, we'll leave it at that. Lord willing, you edify us the next time. I'll try to go stay shalom.